Today we will be discussing the disturbing case of the Menendez brothers. Joseph Lyle Menendez, born January 10, 1968, and Eric Galen Menendez, born November 27, 1970, collectively referred to as the Menendez brothers, are American brothers who were convicted in 1996 of the murders of their parents, Jose and Mary Louise "Kitty" Menendez. Jose Enrique Menendez was born on May 6, 1944, in Havana, Cuba. At age 16, shortly after the end of the Cuban Revolution, he moved to the United States. Jose attended Southern Illinois University, where he met Mary Louise "Kitty" Anderson, 1941-1989. They were married in 1963 and moved to New York City, where Jose earned an accounting degree from Queens College. The couple's first son, Joseph Lyle, who goes by his middle name, was born on January 10, 1968, in New York. Kitty quit her teaching job after Lyle was born, and the family moved to New Jersey, where Eric Galen was born on November 27, 1970, in Gloucester Township. The family lived in Hopewell Township, and both brothers attended Princeton Day School. In mid-1976, Lyle and Eric's cousin, Diane Vandermeulen, came to stay with them. She later stated Lyle confessed to her that his father was sexually abusing him. Vandermeulen claimed to have told Kitty what Lyle had said, but also claimed Kitty sided with her husband and said Lyle was lying. Vandermeulen recalls that afterward, Kitty put Lyle upstairs, and that was the last Vandermeulen heard of the claim. The brothers have claimed that their father stopped abusing Lyle when he was 8 and started abusing Eric, who was 6 at the time. Kitty's eldest sister, Joan Vandermeulen, also backed the sexual abuse allegations in a 2017 interview with People. However, Kitty's brother Milton Anderson has described the allegations as bull. Jose became an executive of Hertz Global Holdings and later RCA Records. In 1986, the family moved to Beverly Hills, California, when he was appointed as the CEO of Artisan Entertainment, then known as Live Entertainment. The following year, Eric attended Beverly Hills High School, where he earned average grades, but displayed a remarkable talent for tennis, ranking 44th in the U.S. as a junior. About 2 weeks before the murders, Eric and his friend Michael Joyce entered the 1989 Boys Junior National Tennis Championship. Eric reached the second round of qualifying in the boys' 18 singles, while Joyce reached the quarterfinals. Lyle attended Princeton University, where he was placed on academic probation for poor grades and eventually suspended for plagiarism. On the evening of August 20, 1989, Jose and Kitty were watching television in the den of their Beverly Hills mansion when Lyle and Eric entered the den, carrying Mossberg 12-gauge shotguns. Jose was shot 6 times, including a fatal shot in the back of his head. Kitty was shot 10 times in total. Before the fatal shot to her cheek, she was on the ground, crawling away. Lyle ran to his car to reload before firing the fatal shot to her face. Immediately after the killings, both brothers remained in the house expecting the police to respond due to the noise of the gunshots. When the police arrived, the brothers told them that the killings had occurred while they were at a movie theater watching Batman and attending the Taste of LA Festival at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. The police did not seek gunshot residue tests from the brothers, which would have indicated whether they had recently discharged a firearm. In the months after the killings, the brothers began to spend lavishly on luxury items, businesses, and travel. Lyle bought Chuck's Spring Street Cafe, a buffalo wing restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, as well as a Rolex watch and a Porsche Carrera. Eric hired a full-time tennis coach and competed in a series of tournaments in Israel. The brothers eventually left the Beverly Hills mansion unoccupied, choosing to live in adjoining condominiums in nearby Marina del Rey. They also dined expensively and took overseas trips to the Caribbean and London. Collectively, they spent approximately $700,000 before their arrests. Family members later disputed a connection between their spending and the murder of their parents, claiming that there were no changes in their spending habits after the killings. At one point, they attended a New York Knicks basketball game, which became immortalized when they appeared courtside in the background of a Mark Jackson trading card. During the early stages of the investigation, police tried to narrow their to suspects who had motives to kill Jose and Kitty and also investigated potential mob leads. As the investigation continued, they began to suspect the brothers were the most likely perpetrators due to the obvious financial motive and their exorbitant spending after the killings. In an attempt to get a confession from Eric, police arranged for his friend, Craig Signorelli, to wear a wire during a lunch with Eric at a local beachfront restaurant. When Signorelli asked Eric whether he had killed his parents, Eric denied it. Eric eventually confessed to his psychologist, Jerome Ozil, who then told his mistress, Judalon Smith. Ozil later broke up with Smith, and in a fit of rage after, she told the police about the brothers' involvement. Lyle was arrested on March 8, 1990, and Eric turned himself in 3 days later after returning to Los Angeles from Israel. Both were held without bail and jailed separately. In August 1990, Judge James Albrecht ruled that tapes of the conversations between Eric and Ozil were admissible evidence since Ozil stated that Lyle threatened him and violated doctor-patient privilege. Albrecht's ruling was appealed, after which the proceedings were delayed for 2 years. The Supreme Court of California ruled in August 1992 that most of the tapes were admissible, with the exception of the tape on which Eric discussed the murders. After that decision, a Los Angeles County grand jury issued indictments in December 1992, charging the brothers with the murders of their parents. The Menendez case became a worldwide sensation when Court TV broadcast the trial in 1993. Represented by their defense lawyer, Leslie Abramson, the brothers stated that they killed their parents out of fear for their lives after a lifetime of abuse at the hands of their parents, especially sexual abuse at the hands of their father, who was described as a cruel perfectionist and pedophile. Meanwhile, their mother was described as an enabling, selfish, mentally unstable alcoholic and drug addict who encouraged her husband's behavior and was also violent toward the brothers. The allegations against the couple were supported by the testimony of 2 family members. The brothers' cousin, Andy Cano, said that as a child, Eric told him about the sexual abuse, which they both described as penis massages. Diane Vandermolen, another cousin of the brothers, stated that she once told Kitty about Jose's molestation of Lyle, although Kitty told her that it was false. As physical evidence, the defense presented a photograph of Lyle and Eric's genitalia, allegedly taken by their father when they were children. The prosecution argued that the killings were done for financial gain. This theory was disputed by the defense team, which claimed that the brothers did not think they were getting an inheritance. Lyle's prosecutor, Pam Bozanich, argued that men could not be raped because they lacked the necessary equipment to be raped. Eric testified that a couple of weeks before the night of the killings, he told his brother about the sexual abuse he was experiencing, which led to several confrontations within the family. The brothers also testified that their father threatened to kill them if they did not keep the abuse secret. They claimed the last confrontation happened inside their home's den on August 20th, 1989, a few minutes before Kitty and Jose were killed. The brothers stated that their father closed the den's door, which was unusual. Paranoid and afraid that they would be killed by their own parents, Lyle and Eric went outside to load their shotguns. Eric stated, "As I went into the room, I just started firing." The trial ended with 2 deadlocked juries. As a result, Los Angeles County District Attorney Gil Garcetti immediately announced that the brothers would be retried. The second trial was somewhat less publicized, in part because Judge Stanley Weisberg did not allow cameras in the courtroom. During the second trial, Weisberg, relying upon a legal decision by the Supreme Court in an unrelated case, limited testimony about the sexual abuse claims and only allowed the jury to vote manslaughter charges for the father, but not for the mother. Both brothers were eventually convicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder and conspiracy to murder. In the penalty phase of the trial, they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury noted the abuse defense was not a factor in its deliberations, but it decided not to impose the death penalty because both brothers had no prior criminal record or history of violence. However, unlike the juries in the previous trials, the jury in the penalty phase rejected the defense's theory that the brothers killed their parents out of fear and believed that they committed the killings in order to inherit their father's wealth. During the penalty phase, Abramson apparently told defense witness William Vickery to edit his own notes of meetings with Eric to remove potentially damning information. But the district attorney's office decided not to launch a criminal investigation of Abramson. Both brothers also filed motions for a mistrial, claiming that they suffered irreversible damage in the penalty phase as a result of possible misconduct and ineffective representation by Abramson. On July 2, 1996, Weisberg sentenced the brothers to life in prison without the possibility of parole to be served as consecutive sentences for the killings and the charges of conspiracy to commit murder. Thank you for watching. Do you think they got what they deserved?